Hey guys, this is my water cooling rig. It's not water cooled yet, obviously, but this is the NZXT Phantom case, which I already modded. I added the window on there, which I'm gonna remove. It's just gonna be a whole plain window, and yeah, I'm gonna add a radiator mount in there, which I already did. It's right there in the front. It's made out of acrylic. And I'm gonna water cool the CPU only. I was gonna water cool the graphics card, but I decided not to. I'll explain that later. And so that's the MSI MPOWER motherboard. It's the Z77 version. I think they have a newer one. I have the Intel i7 3770K, and that's a GTX 660 graphics card. That's a Corsair Vengeance Platinum. That's 16 gigabytes of it. I have 1 terabyte Western Digital hard drive and a 256 solid state in there. So I stripped the case. As you can see, I took out the motherboard and everything, and I took out the hard drive case, the cage, and the CD drive cage. I don't know why I keep saying case. As you can see, all I did was remove some screws and some rivets with my with the drill. I'm gonna add acrylic in the back behind the motherboard and around the whole case, which is gonna be white acrylic. I'm gonna paint it white. You know, it's cheaper like that for me. And I'm gonna mount that around the case behind the motherboard also. And you know, I'm gonna have to do, and that's where the reservoir is gonna go, but I'll do that after. And as you can see, that's where the radiator mount is, or is going to be, which is already in there. But I had to take out those I don't know what to call those, but that's where the I guess the mount, the fan mount, that's where the fan used to go. So I had to remove that so that the acrylic could lay flat onto the case and it wouldn't be sticking out. So I also have a shroud, a power supply shroud, which I didn't show you guys, but I also made that when I first got the case, and I don't know, I might have to extend it, or I might have to make another one, but I'll see after. And that's where the second radiator is gonna go. It's gonna go on the top. That's the mount, the radiator mount that I made. It's a little sloppy, but it works, I guess, sort of. As you can see, it cracked right there because I applied a little bit of pressure when I was making that hole, and in the on the bottom there was nothing to hold that little area. So when I started to drill, it cracked. So I mean, it's all right, you know, it's still holding up. I guess it's still sturdy. I still gotta sand the edges, but it's fine. You know, you're not gonna see it, so it's okay with me. I might sand it out. And that's where the acrylic is gonna go, like I said. But it's hard working with the acrylic that I have because it's thin. I guess it's easy and hard. It's easy to make the cutouts because it's thin, you know, so I don't really have to drill much, and it's faster. But it's also hard to make the holes because it's very delicate, and it'll crack, you know, easily if you apply a lot of pressure onto it. It'll crack. So that's the I don't know what to call this thing. I guess I don't know what to call it, but that's the cover for the case, I guess, if you want to call it, for the back of the case behind the motherboard. I made the cutout. You see how it came out nice, and those gaps that I made is for the so that it'll go, you know, all the way. It'll lean against the case because that's where the screws for the motherboard, it was blocking they were blocking those areas, so I just screwed it out. I mean, I just cut out those gaps with the Dremel, and that's for the screws from the radiator mount. They got in the way, so I got lazy, I guess. Instead of cutting more plexi, I just cut out those gaps, which, you know, it's fine. You're not gonna see them. So that's the water block that I'm gonna use. It's the Swiftech Apogee HD white, which is an awesome water block. It just looks amazing. I like the way it looks. The black and the white acrylic goes perfectly with my case, because it has black and white parts, or it has black parts, I guess, and the case is white. So it's awesome. And the case has, some black and white touches onto it with the white lighting. And this, everyone knows this Waterblock. It's famous. Everyone knows that it's fantastic. It cools up your CPU, fantastically. So I decided to go with it, and it did not come with those fittings. Obviously, I added those on it. I'll show you those after. But yeah, it just looks awesome. Those fittings and the Waterblock look amazing. This is a pump, which is the Swiftech MCP 655 with the speed dial, I guess you want to call it. You could change the speed with that, which is amazing. I really like that touch. It lets me have full control of this pump, which is what I want. If I want to increase the speed of the airflow, I guess, and make it pump faster, then I'll just increase it. And if I want it quiet and slow, then I'll decrease it to the first speed, which, a lot of people say that on the first speed it's perfectly, and the temperatures are just fine. And this pump is also quiet, so it's awesome. I decided to go for it. This is the pump top, which is the XSPC pump top for that pump. And I was going to get a Bits Power pump top, but I kind of ran out of money for that, so I decided to go for this XSPC, which was cheaper. And I heard good things about it. They don't leak or anything, although the clear acrylic version of this top, I heard that for that one someone did get a leak on that one. And so I decided not to get it. Just, I didn't want to take the risk. Maybe it was just that one top. Maybe it wouldn't happen anymore. They fixed they I don't know. But I just got this one. I said, screw it. I'll take the black one. It's perfect. I don't think I'm gonna show it. I think it's gonna be hidden somewhere. So yeah, I just got that one, which is awesome. It looks really nice. It has a nice, like almost a flat black touch, which is nice. It has a little bit of gloss to it. The sides have like a brushed aluminum look. It's just nice, and I wanted to get the top because I'm using compression fittings, and you can't add compression fittings on the top, the pump alone. So I had to get this, and I'm glad I got it. So this is the Reservoir. It's the Bits Power water tank Z Multi 250, which is a nice tank, a nice reservoir. I really like the way this looks. I like the caps on them. They're not thick. They're pretty thin, which is really nice. I like that, because I saw another reservoir with the caps. They're like really thick. They're huge, and I didn't like the way that one looked. I wanted to show the coolant that I'm using, and I just wanted to, I didn't want it all to be. I didn't want the whole, reservoir to be the cap. I wanted most of it to be the acrylic, the clear glass, and this is the one. It's amazing. So this is the Primal Chill the fittings. I think these are the revolver compression fittings for their acrylic tubing that they have, which is really nice. I heard good things about their stuff, which is awesome. They don't leak or anything. They're pretty reliable, and it's easier to work with than the Bits Power ones. Because I don't know, I found I think you have to, I might be wrong, but I think you have to get I'm not sure, the whole Bits Power thing. I didn't really know how to work with those fittings. You had to get like a few adapters, I think it was, and these are the ones that I decided to get. They're just easy. You know, I heard that when you cut the acrylic, you don't really have to make it perfect on the bottom, you know, at the end of the acrylic to fit perfectly on the compression fittings, because I think on the bits power ones you have to make them, you know, nice and perfect, nice and straight. If not, you'll get some leaks. And on these fittings you don't have to do that. You could just cut it off and it could be sloppy and it wouldn't leak or anything. So, you know, I guess it makes the job quicker, but you know, it's easier for me. You know, this is the first loop that I will be doing, and this is what works for me. And they look really nice. You know, the chrome finish on them are amazing. You can see how much they reflect, and a lot of people say that they're a little bulky, but I don't know, they're perfect for me. I guess it works. You know, I like the way they look. They did a fantastic job on these, and the holes on the top, I guess they add a little touch to it, which is, it's nice. So this is the radiator that I'm gonna be using. This is the Black Ice GT Stealth 360 radiator. I think that's what it's called. And I had a little problem with this one. Those fittings that I'm using, the Primal Chill fittings, they didn't want to screw into them. I have no idea why. You know, I would try so hard, and they would only turn twice, and after that they wouldn't want to go in some more. I tried to put a lot of pressure into them, but then I stopped because I was, you know, I got a little scared. I didn't want to screw anything up, you know. I didn't want to mess up the fittings or the threads on the radiator, but I don't know why, you know, they didn't want to screw in. I tried the fittings on another radiator that I'm going to be using on this build, and they went in just fine. And I tried adapter that I bought, a bits power adapter that I bought. I tried it on this the radiator, and they went in just fine. So I think the fittings on this radiator don't, you know, they're not compatible for each other. Maybe it's the threads on the fittings, because they're pretty they're like sharp and everything. They're thin, I guess. So I guess they don't thread on to the radiator right. So I bought some adapters for this radiator to screw on the fittings, and they work just fine. Everyone knows the radiator. It's amazing. It's an amazing radiator. It cools up perfectly, and this radiator, I got it for cheap, so I had to buy it. You know, I was gonna use the one radiator, which is the XSPC one. This is the one that I first bought, and I bought the you can see the fittings on them. They look amazing, and they did fit. And so I bought the Black Ice radiator because I thought, first of all, I bought it because it was super cheap. You don't want to know. You don't even want to know how cheap it was. It's just, it was so cheap. I had to buy it. You know, I had to get it. I couldn't say no. I wanted to get the black one because the black one looks really nice, but they ran out because of how cheap it was, and I bought the blue one, and I think I bought the last blue one because I checked again and they sold out. And I bought it because I thought I was gonna water cool the graphics card, the 660, but I'm planning on upgrading it in the future. They're coming out. NVIDIA's coming out with the 880 series, or 800 series. I'm sorry, and I want to get that one, or maybe the 780. But that's what I bought the 2 radiators for, and turns out I'm not gonna water cool the graphics card. So that's it, you guys. That's those are the parts that I'm gonna use, and the plan is to mount the radiator on the front with that mount, and another radiator on the top. And I got the mount done, and you guys can see I got the motherboard acrylic done, and all I have to do is make some holes on it for the reservoir, and I guess I have to paint it too, and I get to start filling the loop, or making the loop. So that's it for now. See you guys in the next video, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, press that like button, and if you didn't, I guess don't like it. But I do have gaming videos on this channel, because this is what the channel is for. It's for my gaming videos. So subscribe if you want to watch those and you want to watch more of those. Also subscribe if you want to watch the second part to this video, which is going to be, I have no idea what it's going to be. I guess the loop, making the loop, I don't know. But subscribe if you want to watch the other part. And I hope I see you guys in the next video.